Hey, warm welcome to Blank's Shopify tutorial. So yeah, let's dive right in. So right here, I create a brand new Shopify store, and the first thing that we want to do is to install the app. So I'm gonna head over to Shopify App Store to do that. In the App Store, I search for Blankt, select it, and click install. This will automatically redirect us back to Shopify. We'll have to click on install again. Clicking on install will take us to the onboarding process. We'll be setting everything up. We'll click on get started. So this will take us back to the Blank website where we'll be asked to set up an account. So I'm going to use one of my personal emails for this example. When I've signed up, it's going to ask me for an activation code, and I'm going to pause the video right here so I don't bore you guys with that. Great. After waiting for a while, I got my activation code to my email, and I'm going to enter it right here and click activate account. Then we'll be asked to sign up using the credentials that we just created. So I'm just going to enter them right here. After we have successfully signed in, we'll be taken back to a Shopify app page where an automatic process will set everything up for us. Great. So the setup process took about 20 seconds, and once it was done, we are now officially in the app. And the first thing that we need to do is that we need to make a small edit to the existing all collection. But no worries, this won't affect any products that are in the existing all collection. But in order for the app to function properly, this is a change that we highly recommend that everybody makes. So we'll click on Go to Collection. In the Collections page, we'll try to find the All collection that was created automatically when installing the app. So we'll select that, and then up in the right corner, we'll click on Manage. And here we'll select all relevant sales channels to our store. And in my case, on the online store. So I'll select that, click Done, and then save it. And the reason why we're making this change is to make sure that the products and templates that your customers will create aren't publicly listed for everybody. So the way to fix that is to create this alternative all collection that will filter out every product that was created by one of your customers. So that's why this change is quite important. Hey, just a quick disclaimer before we continue with the tutorial. So sometimes the previous change doesn't work, and we can see it clearly in our demo store if we scroll down here that both our original product called Shapes and a product created by customer, that they're both publicly listed. And this is not something that we want. And if this happens in your case, the way to fix this is to head over to the Shopify admin page. First, we're going to list all of our available collections, and we're going to remove any collection that's named all. If you're already using all collection, then you can use the existing one as well, if you know that is for a fact working. So what we're going to do is that we're going to click on Create Collection up here in the upper right corner, and we're going to manually create a collection called All. We're going to click on Manage, and we're going to select all relevant sales channels. For collection type, we're going to select Automated, and we want products that matches all the following conditions. And the condition that is crucial for our case is where the product type is not equal to blanked customized product, spelled out like this, blanked customized product. Then we can click Save, and then we can click View on this collection, and this will open up our collection right here, and we can see that in fact the product that was created by a customer is no longer shown here. And we can doubly verify this by going back to the landing page of our store, and by scrolling down we see that only the original product is remaining, which is great. Now with all the boring stuff done, let's head back to the app and start creating some content. So I'll just close this window. And the first thing that it's going to ask you here is just to select a plan, but actually we can just skip it for now until we actually make sales. So I'll just click skip for now. Now we're ready to create our first template, and I'll do so by clicking add new template. So we're given two choices here. The first one is to create a template directly in the editor, or we can upload the template as an SVG, which is a common file format if you use designer programs like Illustrator and Photoshop. But in our case, we'll start out with creating the template in the editor. This will take us to the editor, and we'll be met with a tutorial that I welcome you to follow through and discover some of the features that we offer. But in my case, I'll just go ahead and skip it. So I'll start in the Objects tab and search for my favorite search word, which is shapes, and try to see if I can create a template here in record time. So I'll just add a few shapes like so that I think look quite nice. Add them right here, kind of like so. Maybe add a nice palette to it, like this. Add some margin and add a text box. And I'll name this template shapes. Cool. When I feel happy with it, I'll click create. And this is going to take me back to the Shopify app where I'll finalize the last details. So product name shapes. And then it's going to also ask me to select a product to copy from. And by copying, it's meaning to only copy things like the variants and the pricing of the existing product, which can be quite convenient if you already have a shop set up and you don't want to re-enter all of that information. You can do it automatically from here. But since I don't have any products yet in my Shopify store, I first will have to create one. Cool. So just have a product where we can copy the pricing information from. I'm creating this default poster product as a reference. And I just kept the bare minimum. So I create 3 variants with 3 different prices. And when I click save, I'll have a product that my template can copy from. So now back in the app, if I click on the pen icon here, I suddenly have a product I can copy the pricing information from. So I'll just select that. Select and click next to finalize. And there we go. Now we have a new product called Shapes. And if we want to enable customization by our customers, we'll also have to click on enable customization. And this will open up a guide to the very last step of the setup. And that is to add a button to the product page of your theme. And that button will allow the customer to customize any product that has customization enabled. Kind of a tongue twister, that one. And we'll do so by clicking on this button, Add. This will take us to the theme editor page where we can add our button by clicking on Add Block. And if we click on Apps, we'll find our button named Customize button right here. After I click on it, I can decide where I want to position it. And in my personal opinion, I probably would move it up to above share and description, if you ask me. Right there, perfect. And when we feel happy about our changes, we just simply click save. Now that we've added the button, we can head back to our app. And since we've already added the button, I'll just take Don't Show again and confirm that this is done. Great. And now that we've created our very first template, we can preview our store. And if we scroll down here, we'll see our template being publicly listed right here. When we click on it, we are met with the regular buttons along with the Customize button that we just added. So when a customer clicks on this, they'll be redirected to the editor in a separate tab. This is the editor that opens up in a separate tab. So as a customer, I'm free to make changes. So let's say I don't want this text here anymore, and I'm going to move the margin a bit further back. Maybe I'll make this object a little bit larger, and I'll change the margin to a bit more of a yellowish color. And when I'm happy with this as a customer, I'll click on Next Save up here in the upper right corner. So after a few seconds of loading, I'll be taken back to the store where I can buy this product. And as you can see here, the pricing information, the variants, along with the stock information for respective variants are already set. And this information comes from the product that this customization came from. So in our case, that would be the shapes product. That information is directly copied into this new product. So as a customer, I'm going to add this to cart and check out. And this is pretty much standard. I'm just going to fill out my contact information. And just for convenience, I'm going to choose the payment method cash on delivery. But of course, we support any payment method. That will have no effect on the end result. So when I feel happy about this, I'm going to click complete order. And there we go. That is a order confirmation for a newly created product. So if I go back to the Shopify orders page, I can see that a new order has come in. And if I click on it, I'll have to mark this paid since I use the cash on delivery payment method. But of course, with other payment methods, this would happen automatically. So I'll mark this as paid. Perfect. Yes. So now that the order has been paid, the question is, how do we fulfill it? And we can do so by heading over to our app and by going to orders up here in the upper left corner. We click on orders. In this page, we'll have listed all the paid orders that has at least one blank product that has been customized in the order. And here, unsurprisingly, we see one order listed, but we're unable to get the images, and that is because we need to select a plan first. And for this example, I'll be going with the free plan. So when clicking on select, we'll be taken back to Shopify for approval, and we click approve. This will take us back to the app. I'll have to go back to orders. Now we can get the images that we can use to send to printing. So because everybody has their own definition of what the best dimensions are for certain paper sizes, we leave that entirely up to you to choose. So now I'm just going to enter some very arbitrary and probably super wrong dimensions for the A2 size. Just for the sake of this example, I'm going to say 1000 width in pixels, 1400 in height in pixels, 300 dots per inches, and I would love my file extension to be PDF. And when these settings feel good, I'll click on Pay and Get Prints. So since these images can take some time to be created, usually a minute or two, this is a great opportunity to take a break. And once we're back, we just click on this button right here. And when we do so, we'll see the status of the images that has been created in here. And since we only have one image, it's being listed right here. And the status is indicating download, which means that the image has been successfully created. And by clicking on that link, this will take us to the image file itself. And it has been created by exactly the configurations that we gave it. That is 1400 pixels in height, 1000 pixels in width, and in 300 dpi. And also is a PDF file, just like we wanted. So to finalize this order, all we need to do is to click on the download button and just send this file wherever it belongs. And with that, we conclude this tutorial for Blankt on Shopify. I'd like to thank you for watching and encourage you to not hesitate to contact me if you have any questions, feedback, or messages of support. Thank you for watching.